What's going on, guys? Hey, it's Ben Nader. Thank you so much for checking out my videos again. If you're not subscribed right now, please hit the subscribe button down below. I would truly appreciate you guys. And smash that like button for good measure if you would. So let's get right into today's video. I wanted to talk to you about something that's fairly philosophical, but it applies directly to your business, especially you new recruiters starting new recruiting agencies and whatnot and getting into the business. So this is super important, and it's kind of philosophical, but it's very, very applicable. It's how your focus and your mind and your energy is utilized in your business. So a lot of the times in recruiting, oftentimes the entire time practically, we're dealing with people, different types of people, all sorts of people, collaboration of different people together. And people, if you haven't realized it yet in your life, are the most unpredictable resource on the entire planet. There are many resources we deal with: water, oil. We know how they mix and we know what happens, right? One floats to the top. We know exactly how that works. We don't know what people will ever do. They're the most unpredictable resource on the planet. And in recruiting, we're dealing with nothing but people on the candidate side and on the client side. And with that in mind, you have to understand that many different things can happen on both sides. Many incidents can happen that can lead you astray and change your entire outlook or your perspective and change your energy and change your focus and just screw with your mind if something goes wrong. And I'm here to explain to you how to get ahead of that and how to not let that happen to you, because it can be a cluster. Believe me, I've gone through it. I've been through several scenarios that I want to unpack and help someone today that may encounter this in the very near future, or is encountering it right now, or has encountered it already and hasn't learned fully from it yet. So, to be very specific, on the candidate side, recently, I submitted a candidate with an awesome client that I work with all the time. The candidate was great. The client loved the candidate. He went through the application process. He was about halfway through, and 2 days in, he called me and said he got snatched up by another client, another company, basically, that was not my client. So I lost that candidate. That candidate was perfect. The client loved them. They would have been an awesome fit. And however, they took another job. I had to deal with that, meaning I had to put up more ads to find more candidates, to do more interviews, to do more search, to do more submissions, and save face with my clients and get a new candidate in the door and hope that that candidate was of the same caliber as the guy I had already just found. Understand, like, that's a lot of stuff, right? But the deal is, you can't let that affect you. You can't let that affect your mind, your focus, your energy, or your business at large, because it will screw with you and it will entirely change your game. You cannot let that happen. On the client side, let's discuss that, because that's much more complicated, because you're dealing with clients and that's very multifaceted. You have a direct relationship with them on a business level. You have somewhat of a personal relationship with them because you've sold them on your staffing services and you're working with them. They trust you and you relatively trust them, and there's an agreement there where you're providing them their human resources, and so that's a real relationship. And what can happen is lots of things. For instance, I worked with a client for a short period of time because we set an agreement, everything was in place. I submitted 5 candidates to this client, and it came about that they, for some reason, believed that one of the candidates I had submitted to them had already been speaking with them, and they took it upon themselves to basically email me and say, we're terminating our contract. We've talked to one of the candidates that you submitted before. It looks like that you were trying to go behind our back and basically something to the lines of screw us over, basically, is pretty much what it was. I went through endless emails. I went through endless questions with the candidate themselves. They told me verbatim through an email in writing that I 100% was the first person to contact them and connect with them about this position in particular. I then told the client that. I said he did not interview with you guys. He never sent a resume in with you guys. Nothing happened with you guys. He came from me. Now, when that scenario happened, this client was just simply not willing to believe any of the blatant evidence right in front of them. And it was extremely infuriating. And so they basically just ended the entire relationship. Like the whole relationship ended. And it was going to be about a $12,000 fill. It's $12,000 in revenue that I completely lost just because that client believed that I somehow went behind their back when all evidence pointed to the contrary, and the candidate themselves explicitly said that, no, I talked with Ben first and he submitted me to you. And so that will happen. Those things happen all the time. I mean, it's a regular occurrence of doing business, especially in recruiting, because what happens is you're dealing with people and they're very unpredictable. You have no idea what someone's, alter ego is or what their real personality is. When it finally comes out, you'll know, but you don't know until you know. And so my purpose of this entire video is to let you know beforehand, before you ever get into these scenarios, that things like this will happen. They happen all of the time. They're going to happen to me more. They've happened to me in the past. And I'm kind of going through one right now where I'm currently invoicing for a candidate, and the client for some reason wants to push the invoice out another 30 days, which makes absolutely no sense to me, but they feel that they want to wait and make sure that this candidate is valid and they're going to, fulfill their needs and all that. But it's not fair because we have in contract writing that they need to pay now. And there's so many different dynamics because, when you push a client and you say, hey, you've got to pay right now, you're kind of starting to push back, and you're really dealing with the entire relationship between you and that client. And that could mean a lot of different things. I mean, you could sever ties with the entire client and they could never use you again, even though they may have $50,000 worth of business left for you in their arsenal. So sometimes you have to play ball. Sometimes you just have to cut it and play ball, and work with them and say, all right, well, invoice me 30 days later and let's see how that goes. And sometimes you just have to walk away. So a really, really good advisor of mine told me one time that one good client, one good business partner client is worth more than 100 bad clients. And it's so completely true. It's 100% true. Reason being is because that bad client, those 100 bad clients, even if they're paying you here and there, if they're causing you trouble, if they're causing you ruckus and there's an issue with them and it's causing you to stress out and take out too much of your energy and focus dealing with them rather than just dealing with that one good client that's paying you, that's hiring consistently, that's working with you on your terms, and doesn't have any of these fly-by-the-night issues where they think that, oh, we already talked to this candidate and it's blatant that they hadn't and all that kind of stuff. Those headaches and that, attention and focus that gets taken away from good clients that are much more worthy of your time is priceless. I mean, I don't even care if the bad clients are worth $100,000. They're not worth my time because ultimately it's just going to end in bad business and it's not going to be a good result. Your focus and your attention are the two most important resources that you have as an entrepreneur. So when you're starting a recruiting agency, expect these dilemmas. Expect them. Understand that they will come, but be prepared for them. And this video message is basically just to tell you, get ready, understand what will happen, and be prepared to not emotionally attach yourself to a candidate or a client. And understand that they're always fly by night. They can always exit the relationship and anything can happen, right? And I've had many thoughts and many scenarios where, oh my goodness, I placed this candidate, they didn't pay me because they thought that they went and talked to them first, and man, should I take them to small claims court and this and that? Those thoughts and feelings can plague you for months. You don't want that to happen. You need to understand that you should guard your mind, focus your mind, understand where your attention and all of your focus needs to be, and keep it there. Just keep it straight on the straight and narrow path. If a client falls out from under you, replace the client. If the candidate balks out and doesn't work, replace the candidate. Don't chase, replace. Just simply work on those principles. Understand that this is business. People are highly unpredictable and they will do whatever they want and you can never expect it. So this is business. This is how it works. But ultimately, you're going through all of this because it's not easy. And if it were easy, everyone would be doing it. So you're going to be making money doing hard things that other people are not doing because they are hard. They're not easy. So a little bit of Friday motivation, hopefully, informing you of what's to come. Understand and prepare your mind to be very strong-willed and understand the things that could happen and will happen to you along the pathway of starting a recruiting agency, dealing with clients and candidates. That's really all I've got for you guys today on Friday. I hope that provides some value. If it does, smash the like button, please. I truly would appreciate it. If you're not subscribed already, please subscribe. I hope that I'm providing some value to you. If this is valuable at all, definitely go ahead and let me know in the comments. I would love your feedback on some of this stuff because that just gives me more motivation and gives me ideas on what you guys need to hear and what you need to know in future videos. So with that, I hope you have an awesome Friday evening, and I will definitely catch you over the weekend. So I will catch you guys later. Take care. Bye.